Hi, I'm here with Bryan Tarry from the GPA, and we're going to be talking about the business of integration and how it's changing. Hi, Bryan.
Good morning.
There's been a lot of shift in our business, not just on the manufacturer side, but on the integration side. And we're seeing everyone respond and try to capitalize on the transformation that's happening. What is the GPA's take on this?
Well, I think it's a really positive thing. We're finally starting to perhaps see 10 years of that convergence and so on turn into a true maturity in the market. We're seeing, certainly from our own standpoint, just an incredible increase in the globalisation strategies around many of our enterprise customers, and that's transitioning the entire industry into having to rethink the way we approach some of those traditional norms of perhaps a technology first focus and moving to a much more mature model.
And for a lot of these transformations, the customer or the client or the end user, however you want to put it, is at the heart of it. Our industry seems to have completely shifted focus onto this one particular person who is going to be using the technology. What does the GPA deliver to its clients and to the end user specifically?
Well, hopefully a market-leading maturity by our very nature, of globalised nature, innovation coming from every corner of the globe in that approach that we take, uniting with that broader global group to truly come up with some of those customer-first, user-focused strategies. In doing so, I think we're certainly trying to bring the maturity level of our organisation up, but also trying to do so across the broader industry as well. I think there is a leadership role that we can play, and that goes beyond simply being an integrator servicing those end user customers, but actually into making sure that our market is maturing as well.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of maturity on the side of the end user as well. Their demands have evolved. What I'm seeing on the ground is really a focus on standardizing the experience, whether you're in London, Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong, Shanghai, Paris. And this is really being driven by the end user. How is the GPA going to service this demand and this need and this appetite for making sure that you have a standard UX, which is also the best and most convenient and the most user-friendly?
Yeah, I think the focus from our industry for a long time was really around the complexity of the technology. And I think what we're seeing is a shift certainly to that simplification, standardization of the technology. However, we've talked as an industry for years around the people-space technology alignment. And I think that the complexity that we're servicing, and let's face it, if there was no complexity in the industry, then perhaps we're not required. The complexity really is in understanding that people piece. You can certainly standardize on that technology, but the reality is the workflows of a user in Asia are going to be very different to the workflows of a user perhaps in the Americas or in Western Europe, for example. And so there is a customization required, certainly in mindset and in understanding how the user may use that. But I often use the analogy of the iPhone or the Samsung Galaxy or whatever. It's the same piece of hardware that we're using around the world. However, it's the way we're using it that may well differ. And I think once we put that human-first focus onto our user base, it's okay to understand that there can be some variance across the globe. However, clearly to service the foundational technology need, standardization is really the only way to deal with the scale of thousands, tens of thousands of rooms of some of our customers.
And just to wrap it all up, what is the crystallized, consolidated message that GPA is putting forward out in the market for your clients, for your competitors, and for everybody who's in our industry?
Well, coincidentally, I guess we just rebranded the organization in the last few days, and are very excited about that. And that really is a part of our attempts to crystallize the message. But the global perspective that we bring, the ability to understand that even within our own organization, a people-first organization is critical to understanding that local relationship, creating those local vested relationships with stakeholders, with end users and so on, without taking that sort of imperialistic view that we often tend to see happen in many global deployments of a North American first perspective trying to be pushed down across the globe. So really, I guess our organization is focused more than ever on that people first strategy.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time, Byron.